Listen, I don't care about your feelings. I care about your money, your retirement, and your future. Because right now, you are making a massive mistake that is going to destroy everything you've worked for. I'm going to tell you something that most people don't want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway because somebody has to. If you are sitting there right now with your money in a standard savings account or spending it on things that lose value the moment you buy them, you are guaranteeing your financial failure. Most of you are doing exactly this, and it is keeping you poor while the rest of the world gets rich. I'm Kevin O'Leary. I've made millions. I've built massive wealth, but I've also lost millions when I was young and foolish. And I've been investing for decades. I've seen the patterns that matter, and I can spot the habits that lead to poverty from a mile away. If you are doing even one of the things I'm about to describe, you don't have a strategy. You have a disaster waiting to happen. Before I show you exactly what is destroying your wealth and which habits are killing your chances of retiring, I need you to do something right now. Hit that subscribe button and smash it. This channel exists for one reason: to give you the real talk about money that nobody else will give you. Not your financial advisor who is just looking for a commission, and certainly not the media that wants you scared and confused. We provide real strategies that actually work to build wealth. I also want you to drop a comment below and tell me honestly, how much did you actually invest last month? Be honest with yourself, because what I am about to share might be the only wake-up call you get before it is too late. Here is what is happening in the economy right now as we head into 2026, and it should terrify you. According to the Federal Reserve, the interest rate is hovering around 4.5%. And while inflation has cooled slightly to around 3%, the cumulative cost of living has skyrocketed over the last 3 years. Do you know what that means for you? It means that if your money isn't growing at a rate of at least 8 to 10%, you are actually getting poorer every single day. Most people are in this situation because they are making excuses. It isn't because of the government or your boss. I've seen people with high incomes who have absolutely nothing saved, and I've seen people with modest salaries build real empires. The difference isn't an external factor. It is your decisions. Ignorant spending is expensive, and while you might not notice it today, it is a slow destruction of your future. Let me put some numbers on this. If you are 30 years old and you are wasting $500 a month on things you don't need, you aren't just losing $500 at a 10% average market return. That $500 a month costs you over $1 million by the time you reach retirement age. Read that again. $1 million is gone, evaporated, because of habits you probably don't even think about. The numbers don't care about your excuses. Before we get into the specifics, you need to understand something fundamental. There are two types of people in this world: builders and consumers. Builders invest in their future and understand that every dollar is a soldier that needs to go out and capture more dollars. Consumers spend on their present and believe the lie that buying things will make them happy. It is that simple, and it is that brutal. Successful investors and the financially independent make investing a non-negotiable behavior. They don't do it if they have money left over. They do it first. Warren Buffett said it best: do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. That one sentence is the entire philosophy of wealth. If you internalize it, you will achieve your goals. If you don't, you won't. Now, let's look at the 5 things you are doing right now that prove you haven't learned this lesson yet. The first thing keeping you poor and destroying your wealth is carrying a balance on your credit cards. This makes me angry because it is the most common form of financial suicide. According to data from the Federal Reserve, the average credit card interest rate is now over 21%. Let me show you what that math actually looks like. If you have $5,000 in credit card debt, and you only make the minimum payments, you will end up paying over $15,000 back over the next decade. You are trading your future freedom for a pair of shoes or a dinner you've already forgotten. You are literally making the bank executives rich while you stay broke. The psychology here is simple. Banks make it easy to spend money you don't have, so they can own your future income. Rich people never pay interest. We earn interest. Here is your fix. Stop using the cards today. Move that debt to a 0% balance transfer card if you can, and pay it off with every extra cent you have. This is the only way to stop the bleeding. Stay with me here because this next part is even more crucial. The second thing you need to stop doing immediately is keeping all your money in a standard big bank savings account. This is not being cautious. This is being ignorant. The average savings account in America still pays less than 1% interest. Meanwhile, high-yield accounts are paying over 4%, and the S&P 500 has historically returned 10%. If you keep $50,000 in a standard account, you are losing thousands of dollars every year to inflation. You are essentially giving the bank a free loan so they can invest your money and keep the profits. Wealthy people understand that cash is a trash asset for long-term growth. We keep only what we need for emergencies and put the rest to work. Here is your fix. Move your emergency fund to a high-yield savings account immediately and move everything else into a diversified index fund. Let the market do the heavy lifting for you. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with what I'm about to say next, but I've made this mistake myself, so listen carefully. The third wealth killer is buying a brand new car every few years. Buying a new car is one of the dumbest financial decisions you can make. The second you drive it off the lot, it loses 20% of its value. Within 3 years, it has lost nearly half. Let me put some numbers on this. A $700 a month car payment invested at 10% for 30 years becomes $1.5 million. Read that again. $1.5 million is what you are trading for a piece of sheet metal that is rusting in your driveway. Rich people buy 3-year-old certified pre-owned cars and let someone else take the depreciation hit. Here is your fix. Drive your current car until the wheels fall off. Take that $700 you would have spent on a new lease and put it into an automated investment account. Your future self doesn't care what you drove in 2026, but they will care if you are broke. This brings me to the fourth mistake, which is even more insidious because it feels like you're being productive. The fourth thing keeping you poor is lifestyle creep, increasing your spending every time you get a raise. This is where most people fail. They get a $5,000 raise and they immediately go out and get a more expensive apartment or a better gym membership. They are running on a treadmill that never ends. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the more people earn, the more they tend to spend on non-essential services. They think they've earned it, but what they've actually done is sold their future for a temporary upgrade in status. Successful people live below their means so they can buy their freedom. Here's your fix. For every raise you get, invest at least 70% of the increase. Don't change your lifestyle until your investments are paying for that lifestyle. That is how you win. The fifth and final point is the most dangerous because it is invisible. It is the failure to automate your investments. If you have to think about investing every month, you won't do it. You will find an excuse. You will have a wedding to go to, or your car will need a repair, and you will say, "I'll do it next month." Next month never comes. The data shows that people who automate their savings have a net worth over 400%, higher than those who don't. This is the difference between a builder and a consumer. Builders set a system that works while they sleep. Here is your fix. Set up an automatic transfer from your paycheck to your brokerage account on the same day you get paid. You shouldn't even see the money. If you don't see it, you won't miss it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, "Kevin, I don't make enough to invest $500 a month." And here's my answer. Of course, it's hard when everything is expensive. I understand that the cost of living is high. But here's the thing. If you don't find a way to invest $10 today, you won't find a way to invest $10,000 tomorrow. It isn't about the amount. It is about the discipline. Start with $50. Start with $20. Just start. Let me tell you about two people I knew when I was starting out. One was a guy named Mark who made a great salary, nearly $200,000 a year. He had the Porsche, the expensive watch, and the house in the best neighborhood. The other was a woman named Sarah, who worked as an administrative assistant and made about $50,000. Mark spent every dime he made to look successful. Sarah lived in a modest apartment and automated $300 a month into an S&P 500 index fund. They are both 60 now. Mark is still working because he has no savings and his house has a massive mortgage. Sarah is retired with over $1.2 million in her account. Same opportunities, same time frame, completely different outcomes. The only difference was the habits. I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad. I'm telling you because it is still not too late for you to be like Sarah. But you have to start now. Not next month, not next year. Now. All right? Let me make this concrete. Here is exactly what I want you to do in the next 7 days. Day 1. Go through your bank statement and cancel every single subscription you haven't used in the last 30 days. This is free money you are giving away. Day 2. Open a high-yield savings account if you don't have one and move your emergency fund there. Day 3. Audit your debt and find the highest interest rate you are paying. Then make a plan to kill it. Day 4. Set up an automated transfer of at least 10% of your income to a brokerage account. Day 5. Do a no-spend 24 hours where you buy absolutely nothing other than the bare essentials. Day 6. Look at your biggest monthly expense and find one way to reduce it by 10%. Day 7. Sit down and write out your financial goal for the end of 2026. 7 days, 7 actions. None of them are hard, but all of them will change your financial trajectory. The question is, will you do them? Or will you watch this video, feel motivated for 10 minutes, and then go back to the same habits that got you here? I can't make that choice for you, but I can tell you that your future self is watching, and they are either going to thank you or curse you for what you do next. If this video opened your eyes and you are ready to stop making mistakes and start building wealth, hit that like button right now. It helps the algorithm show this to more people who need to hear the truth. Subscribe if you haven't already, because every week I'm putting out content designed to protect your wealth and build your future. And drop a comment below right now. Tell me which of the 5 habits I mentioned is the one you are guilty of. Be honest. When you admit it publicly, you are more likely to change it. That's psychology. Next week, I'm going to show you exactly which ETFs I'm buying for 2026 to hedge against inflation. You don't want to miss that. Remember, the numbers don't care about your excuses. Choose wisely. Your future depends on it. Now get out there and make it happen. The road to wealth is paved with the things you choose not to buy today. Most people think getting rich is about a lucky break or a massive inheritance, but they are wrong. It is about the math of the everyday. If you look at the S&P 500, which has returned an average of 10% annually for the last 50 years, you realize that the market is a wealth-building machine that is open to everyone. But you can't participate if you've spent all your capital on depreciating assets. According to a Bank of America survey, the average American spends over $18,000 a year on non-essential items. That is $18,000 that could have been invested over 30 years at 10%. That $18,000 a year becomes nearly $3 million. Read that again. $3 million. And most people are literally eating and driving their retirement away $100 at a time. It is a slow-motion car crash that they are choosing to stay in. Let me be very clear about this. The economy in 2026 will not wait for you to get your act together. With interest rates remaining higher for longer and the cost of housing still elevated, the middle class is being squeezed like never before. You have to be aggressive about your savings. You have to be a predator when it comes to your expenses. If you're not looking at your bank account every week and asking, where is my money going? Then you're already losing. Rich people know where every dollar goes. Poor people wonder where it went. Which one are you? I've seen people lose everything because they thought they were smarter than the math. They thought they could make it up later. But you can't make up for lost time. Time is the most valuable asset you have, especially when it comes to compounding. If you start investing at 25, you only need to save a fraction of what someone starting at 45 needs to save to reach the same goal. The cost of waiting is the highest tax you will ever pay. According to historical market data, waiting just 5 years to start investing can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in the long run. Don't pay that tax. Here's the thing about building a legacy. It requires discipline that most people simply don't have. They want the result without the process. They want the $1 million account, but they want the new iPhone and the expensive vacation today. You have to choose. You can have the appearance of wealth now, or you can have actual wealth later. You cannot have both unless you are already a multi-millionaire. This is what the builders understand. They are willing to look boring for a decade so they can be free for the rest of their lives. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Kevin, I need to live my life. I can't just save everything. And I agree. You should enjoy your life, but you should only spend money that you have actually earned through your investments. When your money is making money. That is the money you use for the course of the vacation. You never, ever touch the principal. You never kill the golden goose. You only eat the eggs. That is the fundamental rule of the wealthy. If you follow that rule, you will never be broke a day in your life. Let me put some numbers on the power of consistency. If you invest just $100 a week starting at age 20, by age 65 you will have over $4 million, assuming a 10% return. $100 a week. That is less than most people spend on takeout and coffee. It isn't about having a huge salary. It is about having a huge amount of discipline. The numbers don't lie. They are the only truth in a world full of marketing and lies. As we move into 2026, the opportunities for those with capital will be immense. Market volatility creates chances to buy quality assets at a discount, but you can't buy the dip if you don't have any cash because you've spent it all on liabilities. You need to be ready. You need to have your war chest built so when the market offers you a deal, you can take it. This is how the rich get richer during economic shifts. They are prepared and they are patient. I want you to take this seriously. This isn't just another YouTube video. This is a blueprint for your survival. The world's getting more expensive and the safety nets are disappearing. You are your own Social Security. You are your own pension. No one is coming to save you. Not the government, not your employer, and not your family. It is all on you. And that is the best news you could ever hear, because it means you have the power to change it. You have the control. Stop being a victim of your own impulses. Stop letting corporations dictate your worth based on what you own. Stop valuing your freedom more than your status. Stop valuing your future self more than your current craving. If you can do that, you will be in the top 1% of people in terms of financial health. It isn't easy, but it is worth it. The peace of mind that comes from knowing you are financially secure is worth more than any luxury item you could ever buy. I'm going to leave you with this thought. Every time you spend money, you are voting for your future. You are either voting for a future of stress and debt or a future of freedom and options. Every single transaction is a vote. Start voting for yourself. Start building the life you actually want to live, not the one